Hello, all you beautiful, unique, divine souls. It's Sunshine here from Infinity Soul Connection and Soul Connection seekers. Welcome. I hope everybody is having a wonderful week so far. I am a medium, an energy healer, a soul life coach, and author. And I opened up to Spirit, and they would like me to share today. Actually, they have been with me throughout the last week and a half, kind of wanting to share similar things and answer some questions. So, as you know, we have all, experienced in different forms, different places, um, some lovely politic things that people thought, yes, there was going to be a change, and that higher consciousness and healers and just people and individuals were doing what they can, and supporting people too on the decisions that were made. So where I would like to start with Spirit is we change needs to start with us, right? Individually. We can't make other things outside of us necessarily, like make somebody else change or make bigger things change. The change needs to start with us, and then it goes on the outward. So Spirit would like to talk about, we will start with, we're going to talk about Mother Earth as a whole, society, that oneness up there, because as you know, I am very spiritual. So we're looking at things in a higher consciousness and as like a bigger whole when Spirit discussed this today. So let's just step back a little bit and we will think of, say, addictions. So when somebody has an addiction, it could be an addiction to cigarettes, right? Would everybody agree that having a cigarette or being a smoker, that cigarette is controlling that individual? And so when we think of addictions, right, there can be lots of things. There can be an addiction to shopping. There can be an addiction to sex. There can be an addiction to alcohol. There can be an addiction to drugs. There can be an addiction of putting ourselves down all the time. There can be so many different addictions. But let's say we know an individual, and we just talked about smoking, but let's say we know an individual that's addicted to alcohol. So we see within that individual, right, that they're not themselves anymore, that they say can be harsh or mean or hurtful, that addiction, that alcohol kind of is controlling them, has taken them over. They're doing stuff that they normally wouldn't do. We could feel that, where are you in there, right? Like, where have you disappeared to? So, and it can be hurtful, but we still love that individual. But when we really think about somebody with an addiction, what do we long for them for? We desire them to not be controlled by that addiction anymore. We desire for them to find themselves once again. We desire for them to live in their truth. We desire them to be healthy. We desire them to be happy. We desire them to be fulfilled. We desire them to live life, right? So what, stepping back into the oneness again in a spiritual, but also in the ego and the conditioned self. So as society, right, as, having a hierarchy in society, we have allowed that to be, we have allowed that to control us, right? What is happening in that oneness is that control in that society, that control in politics is not working anymore. Us as individuals, us as like humans, right? We're all divine souls here having a human experience. Us here have, as humans, have been led here to think that this is all there is, kind of thing, that we have a say in what we think or who in the hierarchy should be in control. But we've been led to believe that, right? We're saying that money controls so many things, right? And especially big amounts of money. So if we believe a change is happening, a change is still happening, but not like what we thought, right? Not on how we would look at it. So my belief has always been, yes, people believe that okay, let's go and put our say in and put this ballot in here and we'll have a say. But money and big hierarchy controls things. So who's to say if we put our ballots in and somebody is ahead of another person ballot-wise, money controls everything, and maybe they make a phone call and say, hey, put 50 in there, we need them now, or whatever. But what we have always, or individuals have believed is happening, hasn't been the truth, right? And so when we think, oh my goodness, we need this change to happen, and it's not changing. But yes, it is, because for a lot of individuals that aren't able to see the truth in all of that, right? They're seeing the truth on, but I went this way, but still this happened. But how can that be? How can somebody get shot with a rifle and just get a glaze on their ear? Is that the truth? No. So with addictions, with us being controlled, right? There's a matrix out there and the matrix is changing. The matrix isn't allowing us, I'm talking spiritual, anymore for this control to be happening. So with any addiction, anything that is controlling an individual in that matrix, it has to be broken down, right? Just like an addiction. People have to hit the rock bottom, really see their truth before change can happen, and for them to realize that they've been being controlled and it's not truthful, and for them to step into their truth and align with that and live life resonating with that. And how do we do that? Right? We have many different bodies and systems, the physical, right? All of this is, looked at and viewed societal wise in the physical, right? Not that emotional, like what's best for you as an individual, not that mental. I'm like, oh my goodness, like emotionally, how do you feel about all of this? Is this your truth, right? On the rules, the regulations, fear instilling people to like shut down the world. Does that resonate? Does that align with you? Right? That a hierarchy is instilling fear in us to be able to have the power to shut down the world in the past. Is that your truth? So the matrix is really, really changing.